Welcome to the CareerJitsu podcast, where we connect the art of Jiu-Jitsu with your career. Our mission is to empower and inspire you with engaging conversations and valuable insights from people just like you who benefit from the shared relationship between your workplace and the art of Jiu-Jitsu, leading you to a more fulfilling and successful life. We are your hosts, Jason Patterson and Frank D'Amelio, and we are thrilled to have you here with us today. Frank, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here on our first podcast, and very excited to have Alec with us, who used to be my student at Shepherd Hill and now is an elite NFL athlete. And I think it's going to be great because there's so many things that connect jiu-jitsu, sports, and life. And one of those things is resiliency. And Alec, in your career, I mean, you've done amazing things all the way from high school through BC to the NFL. One of the questions I think our listeners want to know is, how do you deal? What's your mindset in dealing with when you have a bad day, when you go out and you don't perform to your expectations, and you go home and you're thinking, what happened today? And you kind of get in a funk. How do you deal with that? What's your mindset and what's your strategy for resiliency?
Right. First, I want to say thank you for having me. This is awesome. But I think the main thing with that is just it's kind of like an obsession to me. No matter what I do, whether it's on the field, like let's say I have a bad performance, I have a bad game, I go home and I can't sleep about it. You know, I'm obsessed with it, thinking about it. Like I have to get back out there. Like I have to go practice. You know, like I can't wait till practice the next day or 2 days later where I can go and I can fix that and show, like, you know, that's not who I was. So it kind of, I get obsessed with it, but I don't let it consume me. You know, it's also, hey, that's done and over with. I got it out of me. Now it's the next thing. And that's not just with football. You know, you go and you might have a bad day. You might have said something, you know, like, oh, I don't, and then you think about it and it kind of bugs you. And you're like, I need to make this right. So whether it's football or whatever, I need to make this right. And a big thing too is, in football, we talk a lot about adversity. How are you going to handle adversity? How are you going to face adversity? Are you going to run away from it? Are you going to run right at it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to push through the adversity? Because no matter what you do and who you are, you have adversity in your life. And I think that's the biggest thing. I know with me, I dealt with 2 really bad back injuries 2 years in a row. And that kind of set me back. You know, as an athlete, you have to be healthy. You have to perform. You have to be out there. Especially in the NFL, you're getting paid to do that. If you're hurt, you're not doing that. That's hurting you. They're bringing other people in. So I think the biggest thing with that is just like, what am I going to do? I can sit there. I can be sad about it. I can be pissed about it. Like, why am I getting hurt? Why does this keep happening? Which you do, but again, you can't let that consume you. So I'm sitting there, I'm hurt. I'm like, what can I do? Not what can I do? You know,
Right.
Okay, I can lay on the floor and I can stretch. Okay, now I'm able to get up and I can stretch. Now I'm able to move a little bit. Now I can jog. Now I can run. What can I do to keep going? What I can do, not what I can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and incremental improvement. It's
Right.
on the margin.
Right. And then,
one step at a time kind of
and
thing.
then going back and same thing, like I said, like when you have a bad game, I can't wait to get out there and show them what I can do. You know, I'm hurt. I can't wait to go in the next day and say, like, hey, look, now I can do this. I can do this. I'm getting better, showing them I'm committed to this process. I'm fighting the adversity. You know, nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to have a bad game. Nobody wants to have a bad day. Nobody wants to say something they don't want to say. So it's just kind of, what can I do? And then having it be obsessed with it, but not in a bad way, you know, not taking the negative. There's a great thing we say in football. It's talking about staying in the neutral. It's 5% of the time you're going to be negative. You know, something bad happens. You have a bad play. You throw an interception. It's 5% of the time you're like sad. Like, why is this guy doing this? Then about 10% of the time you want to be in the positive. So you have a touchdown. You're like, oh, this is awesome, going crazy. Like, this is great. We're great. We're great. We're great. And then the rest of it, that 85%, you want to be in the neutral. You know, you want to have that not too high, not too low. You don't want to Like, you just want to be in the moment, be in the neutral, and just go and just take it as it comes. And I think that's what's biggest. So you have a big play, you're happy, but you got to get right back into the neutral.
Right.
You don't want to get too confident. You have a bad play, you want to get right back into the neutral. You don't want to be too negative because that.
I
all
like
affects
that.
your
That's very stoic philosophy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it really is. I think in Japanese martial arts, in particular, there's a saying called mushin, and mushin means no mind. So it means you have a neutral mind,
Right.
And you're ready for anything to come your way,
Right.
whether it's good or bad. Or if it's bad, you make an adjustment. If it's
Right.
good, you keep doing it.
Right, exactly. And that allows you to also, when things are going good, sometimes you minimize what's bad. Like if a team is winning a bunch, you're like, oh, well, this is bad, but we're still winning. Or if you're losing a bunch, you focus too much on the bad and not like this is positive. So then that's where people get caught in trouble. Like, oh, things are going great, not paying attention to what some things they may do bad. So that neutral is great. So you're like, you know what, we can pick this up, but just being ready for whatever, being able to get better, and obviously humans have emotions and you bounce back and forth, but it's working and it's really like an exercise. Getting back into that neutral mindset. It's something you have to work and make it become a habit.
Yeah, it's great to hear that mindset, Frank, because we talk about this in jiu-jitsu a lot when we're on the mats with each other, and we get in a bad position or we did a technique incorrectly and someone exploits it, and then we sit there and go, oh crap, what happened? And we need to make an adjustment somehow, and having that mindset to make that adjustment is so important.
Absolutely,
in jiu-jitsu too,
to stay in the neutral and not panic and not.
Right. So, Alec, you trained jiu-jitsu for a little while with us. So, how can you, can you give us a little bit of feedback in terms of like how you can relate like the art of like grappling, and because you also wrestled in high school too, so you have some grappling experience. So, in your experience with grappling, how has that interrelated with football?
I think one of the biggest things is just you learn how your body works. I think wrestling from a young age and then doing jiu-jitsu in high school and even now, it teaches you how your body works, what your body can and can't do, the flexibility of your body, what you might have to work on. Like, oh, my hips are really tight. Like, what things you can work on, and that allows you to work on it. Jiu-jitsu and everything, you're working with your body, you're grappling, your joints, your ligaments, everything is moving. It's all
the body mechanics.
Right, exactly, how your body works. And then that's more of a general thing, but then more specific to what I do, I play offensive line, so I'm blocking guys. How can I keep you away from the quarterback? How can I block you? How can I move you? And then in jiu-jitsu, it's how can I work my body and move your body to where I can get my arm bar, my leg lock, the choke, So it's learning how to keep people off you, like the body movement, how to use your body against others in that way. For me, it's more specific. I'm actually blocking and hand fighting and grappling with another human being. How can I have inside hands or whatever to control someone? Same as in any sort of grappling, same thing. How can I control this person? What can I use? Like, I know their body moves like this, so I'm gonna do this to get them on the ground, to take their back, to in football to block this guy. I know if he gets my arm, he can turn himself and get around me. How can I use that to stay in front of him? How can I use my body and the way he moves to snap him down, to move him, to use my leverage to turn him out of the way?
It's amazing how much vocabulary you can use. That's the same, right?
Right.
So,
and
snap him down, turn his body,
and understanding the human body, like you said, and the biomechanics of the body can kind of help you with both sports. So that's the physical concept that you can make the connection with. Now, how about the mental and emotional side of it? Like I know that there's times where I've been in bad positions with some guy that's 300 pounds on top of me in jiu-jitsu, and I'm in bottom side control, and I'm trying to find space to move, and I have to try to relax, and I have to try to keep my composure mentally and emotionally to get through that situation. So how has grappling and football helped you emotionally and mentally?
Right. Yeah. I think the biggest thing too is going back to that point of staying in the neutral, you're in a bad position. You get the 300-pound guy on you, or in my case, I got a 350-pound guy on me. Just using that neutrality, and then also trusting your training, trusting your technique. Just hammer your training, hammer your technique. You're in that bad position now. As I'm in that position, and the guy's sweating on me, he's beat me down. We're fighting. How can I think and use my brain? Like it just comes naturally. Like, oh, I have to do this. Like, for example, I know it just happens naturally. If I'm blocking a guy and I go to punch him and he swipes my hand, it's just, I've trained it so much, and I just trust my training, trust my technique. It's just natural where he swipes my hand, it comes right back up. So same thing where in any sort of movement, somebody does something to you, it just naturally just happens because it's such a habit and such a technique. And then your mindset wise, you're able to just be, you're okay because you've done it so much. You can stay in that position, and it can. You just trust what's going to happen just because you've done it so much. You've practiced. Hey, I'm in the worst position possible. I've practiced this. I can get out of this. I know I can. I don't freak out, because I feel like when you panic or freak out, you're like, man, why can this guy's kill me? I can't do anything. That's when you start getting in trouble rather than just trusting it.
Yeah, definitely the converse relationship between anger and lack of skill.
Right.
People who have a lack of skill are much more likely to be angered when they're in a tough
see
situation.
red.
Yeah.
The whole I see red,
Right.
which is not a power.
No. And if anything, if you're angry or the seeing red or whatever, like, oh, I just black out, I don't know, you can't think. You don't
Right.
you don't have control of your body, you don't have control of your emotions. Also, you're tiring yourself out. If you're not calm and moving in the sense, obviously any exercise is tiring, but if you're just like trying to muscle it out, or you're angry, so you're like going crazy, you tire out way quicker. Like for football, the game is an hour. It's quarters. You have to, and then really in time it takes 3 hours. You have to be, if you're all hyped up and angry and like, oh, I see red the whole time. It's like, well, you're gonna be dead after the first.
You might
quarter,
have
and
one good play
Right.
of blasting through somebody,
Right.
but you're
And
not
then
gonna.
I'm gonna take control, and I'm just gonna dominate you the rest of the time because I know you're tired.
Because once you're tired, you're done.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
So do you like to get inside people's heads sometimes?
Do you trash talk? That's one difference, because in jiu-jitsu, most people don't, unless they're friends.
Yeah.
Like I'll trash talk. I
So,
trash talk a lot, but
I usually,
only my friends.
I usually don't, because everybody's just so, like, at this level, everybody is an animal. You're like, everybody's tough. Everybody's in it. So I usually don't, because usually sometimes when you poke the bear, sometimes you get what you don't want. Guys can. But if somebody's giving it to me or trying to, like, kind of get a little wise with me, I give it right back. Yeah. You got to. And then
Use your words of the day that you learned in high school.
Or if I get somebody good, I usually let them know too. Like let's say I pancake blocked a guy, I usually let them know, and usually they know too, and
they're like,
that's
yeah,
just a
good
game.
hit.
Everybody gets everybody. That's just a game. But no, I try not to. One, mostly so for my stamina. I don't want to get as tired. It takes mental effort and physical effort to think of trash talk. But if somebody's wants to get wordy, I can get wordy too. I usually am more the defender of it than the aggressor.
Right.
Yeah, so, like the anger and lack of skill concept, right, that we talked about. Now, the opposite of that would be, staying composed.
Right.
It is proportionate with your skill.
Right.
So, you're like you said, you mentioned about trusting in your training. So when you're in a bad position or something's not going right, you really have to trust in your skill and training.
Right.
And so when you are able to, like, turn to that skill and that training, that really helps you to stay composed. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, that's the biggest thing. I mean, in football, we have individual period, which is basically you work on your individual position. And that's the technique is the biggest thing. Like, it's all great. Like I said, talking earlier, if everything's great, it's great. Like, what are you going to do when it's bad? Things are going to go bad. So when we're working on these trainings, you start like, okay, this is the technique. Okay, this is how it should feel. This is great. Okay, now you're in a bad position. Now use the technique. a guy gets into your chest, he has your chest, your hands are outside. Now you have to work on refitting it or knocking his hand down and getting your hand back in. Just as in Jiu-jitsu, you're training a position. You start with, okay, this is the position. Here it is. Okay, now you start in the good position. Now go from there, work from there. Okay, now you're in a neutral position. Start from there and try to get into the good position. Okay, now you're in the bad position. Get to it. Now you're in the worst position. Get to it. You know, if you train in those negative situations or train in the adversity, the whatever you want to call it, then it becomes natural. So when it's going good, it's great, and it's just you're in that flow state. But when it's bad, that's okay. You've been there before. It's not the first time you've been there. Now you don't start. When you're learning a technique or learning anything, you don't start. Okay, you're in the worst possible situation because then you don't know. You train it, and then as you get, step 1, it's like second nature. Step 2 is second nature. Okay, now you're in step 10, the worst possible situation. That's how you get better. You're never going to be in the worst situation, but you have to prepare for it.
And Jason, that's something you talk about in jiu-jitsu all the time. Like, for example, if you're grappling with somebody who might be not at your level, you can always put yourself in a bad position and see how you can work out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times in jiu-jitsu, if there's a mismatch in levels, the other person will purposely let themselves get into a bad position and try to work out of it if they're trying to work their defenses and things like that.
It's the same with football.
Yeah.
In practice, the only way you can get better is if you try stuff. That's why you have practice. That's why you have time. Like, if I want to do a new technique that I think can help me, I'm not going to go out on national television and then try the new technique and then get embarrassed. You got to try it in practice and you got to get comfortable with it. But you have to be okay to fail. It's okay. Like, hey, I'm trying this new technique. I did it. This guy beat me. Okay. I didn't it's not on national TV. The guy's not getting sacked and everyone's like, oh, who is this guy? This guy stinks,
Right.
It's, you go to practice, you train it in individual, you train it on your own, you train it in a team period, you train it in one-on-one pass rush, in whatever situation you're in, you train it so then you feel comfortable. Okay, I'm facing this guy. I know you're good. So I'm going to do my main techniques, and then every once in a while throw a little wrinkle in, and it confuses them. Then the guy's like, oh, now I got to be aware of this, and then I go back to my stuff and then throw it in again, and same thing. So it's just,
I think I've heard, over the years, at one point, I can't remember when it was, but how even if you are very skilled, and even if you are really good at something, you should be failing at least 15 to 20% of the time.
Yeah.
And if you're not growing.
Right, and that helps you grow. And I think it was Lou Holtz, the Notre Dame coach, that said, you're never, I forget it exactly, but he's like, it's like a tree. You're never staying the same. You're either growing or you're dying. You're either getting better or you're not. You never stay the same.
It's very hard to hover.
Right. So even if it's a gradual 1%, you're either getting better or you're not. It's never, okay, if I just sat down and ate chips all day, I got worse. It's not like I stayed the same. You may feel the same, but you at some percentage-wise, you did get worse. And then same thing, I mean, you're a black belt with everything. You still get caught in bad positions. You can still get better. No matter if you're at the pinnacle, you're at the top of the mountain, you can always get better and keep getting better. Now, it may be just a slight bit, but,
that brings it all the way back to jiu-jitsu's philosophy of 1% better every time. Just 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Incremental growth. Hey everybody, it's tap-in time where we tap in to your thoughts. So in this episode, we'd love to hear from you about how you connect what Alec Lindstrom is saying to your life. And we're looking to reach out to other BJJ practitioners who do BJJ and also have a sport or an exercise that they practice on the side. Do you see some similarities in your experience to what Alec Lindstrom is talking about? We'd love to hear from you. Drop a couple of comments, and we look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we touched upon the physical side, the mental and emotional side. How about the social side?
Yeah.
As a professional athlete, do you struggle, or do you? How do you handle social situations, social settings?
Yeah. I think sports in general is so good for social structure. That's where you meet friends. You go to the gym, and that's where the classmate, you meet friends. You make friends. In college, for example, they're my teammates, but they're my best friends in life. That's how you meet these people, and you become friends. You do stuff, and that's how you do it. So it's such a great thing to be social. Like, let's say you're in a situation, you're not doing much. You're like, man, I don't talk to people much. I don't do this. Like, go take a class in anything really, and you go and you meet people, and you're like, these people want to teach me. They want to be around me. Like when kids come up to me and ask me about football, I love teaching them. I'm sure you love teaching people too. Like, you see a new student, it's like, this is someone that's looking for an opportunity to grow. Like, so it's great for meeting people and meeting friends, but also it teaches you great habits no matter what you do. Being punctual, being on time. Like, hey, class starts at 7, get here at 6:45. Like, have time. We start at 7. It's not walk in at 7. So that some of the life lessons you learn. Like, if I go to work and I show up late, in football you get fined, you get fired, you get all this stuff. You go to, no matter what you do, you're late. People are pissed. Like, we start at 7. It's not, hey, you walk in at 7:01 and I am so punctual. Like, something starts at 7, I'm there at 6:30. It's just like the habits it teaches you, the camaraderie. Like it teaches you. It makes friends, but it also teaches you stuff like fighting through adversity. If you've never been in an adverse situation, sports teach you that. So, like, let's say you're at the job, somebody bails, and now you have to do their work. Well, you've been there. Right. I've been there in football where we're doing a workout, and my guy, he happened to give out, so I got to give an extra 5%. So it's the same thing in work. You get given that. It's all connects. The life habits and everything, like fighting through adversity, punctuality, being a good teammate, being a good coworker, being a good person. This is all stuff you learn through sports. I think it's some of the greatest things that you can do. And even if it's like, I'm bored and I want to meet people, make a friend. You can make friends through jiu-jitsu, through football, through really anything, but you got to go out and you got to challenge yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing is, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Let me go out and try it rather than just thinking about it. Like, if I go and I hate it, and I go again, I hate it, I go again, I hate it, okay, maybe it's not for me. Let me try this. I go and I love it, and that's where you meet people, and that's where you get the community, and that's what I think it is. Like, football is a family. Jiu-jitsu is a family, You do stuff together. You, like holidays, you're with each other, and that's what I think the biggest thing is. And then you learn the habits of being punctual, being a good person, fighting through adversity, but also you find, it feels good to physically beat someone up and win at what you have to do, but it also feels good to have a friend and have an emotional and social connection with people.
Absolutely. That is so well said.
Yeah. I mean, we have so many people in the dojo that are people who we have created lifelong friendships with.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Even
kind of like a
even
family.
yourself, Frank.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't have even met you. How long we have been training together, 5 or 6 years,
yeah.
but I'll be friends with you for the rest of my life.
That's it.
Frank.
And think about that in another situation, you may have never, like, if you never went out and said, you know what, I want to try jiu-jitsu, and I may get my ass kicked for 2 years, maybe even until I stop doing it. It's just, you're always going to get knocked down, but like, you went out, you challenged yourself. You're like, I met a friend, basically kind of like a family. Like, that's just what it's all about. Yeah,
and it's easy times versus hard times. I think people that you meet and you experience life with,
right,
and you have easy times with them,
mm-hmm,
you don't really have as strong of a relationship with
exactly.
them. The people you fought through things with, the people
exactly.
that you had hard times with, are the ones that last the longest.
Exactly. Right. That's like my buddies. You have friends like, oh, I see this guy every once in a while, and he's a great guy, and like whatever. But like, you're not going out of your way to whatever. But like, my friends from college, we grinded together, we sweat together, we bled together, like playing the football. I got hurt, they got hurt. Like, we went through a lot of stuff together, and like that's what exactly melds that.
It's like your family.
It's kind of like a diamond. Pressure makes diamonds.
That's right.
And all that hard work and stuff. So then you're sitting on the couch in a good time, you're hanging out, and you're just like, dude, remember when we did this? How much that sucked, and we got through it. Like,
Yeah.
and that, how much better we are because of it. And then if I'm in a time of need and I'm struggling, I know I can count on you. Where some other people, you know, they may be.
It was just all good times.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can't count on them. So that's I think is the biggest
It's like
thing.
A brotherhood.
Yeah.
And the thing you said about so you can go anywhere. When I went to Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
I took jiu-jitsu there, and I
Yeah.
had instant
Yeah.
group of great people who
Yeah.
shared the same philosophy,
Mhm.
and I had instant plug and play
Right.
people to go out with right off the bat.
I'd say that's the same for me. With I've been on 3 different NFL teams in 3 years. You know, in college, I was with the same guys for 5 years, and you know, it can be nerve wracking. Like, oh, are these people going to like me? Like, am I going to fit in? Whatever, and you'd be surprised. It's not the same, but it's the same. Like, guys are guys. You know, the guys that are doing like playing football at my position, we're all like, you know, you fit right in. Like, I've been on 3 different teams for a certain amount of periods in 3 years, and I fit in and had no problem no matter where I go. And same thing with jiu-jitsu. You go to a different gym, it may be a little different, maybe a little different techniques, but the people are the people. And like you said, it's like a brotherhood. You know, you're in it, and they know, even though, hey, you've been with the Rams, you've been with the Cowboys, now you're with us, but like, we know you've been through it. We know we know what kind of person you are because you're doing it. And then, so like you said, it's basically like a brotherhood. And then no matter what you do, it's just, you got to challenge yourself, step out. It's uncomfortable, it's awkward, but that's life. Face adversity and go through it. That's part of it.
Absolutely.
So Frank, let's connect this, this last phase to this interview, Alec, is to kind of connect all these things to life. Mm-hmm. So, we talked a little bit about the mental and the physical and the social concepts of jiu-jitsu and football. Mm-hmm. So how about these lessons that we've learned in jiu-jitsu and football? How do they apply for you in life?
Right. Same thing. I just think it's what makes you better as a person. You're either growing, like we said, you're either growing or you're not. You're either growing socially, emotionally, physically, like living a healthy lifestyle. You know, everyone wants to be happy, and everyone finds happiness in different spots. And for me, it's family, it's football, it's the active lifestyle. So it's just what makes me happy, challenging myself. Physically, I go out and play football now. I love it. Just because I love it doesn't mean, I might not have a bad day here or there, but that's what makes me me. You know, it's what makes me happy. I love going out and playing and competing against the best in the world. You know, the 1% of the 1%. Going out and competing with them, and that's what makes me happy. I enjoy playing offensive line. My job helps 4 other guys next to me. Their job helps me. We have to work as a unit. That's what, like, you just talking about it, you smile about it, you get happy about that connection with those guys. It's just, I think the whole point of life is to be happy, live a good life, be a good person, grow, and try to maximize what God-given talents and God-given personality you've been given. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, socially, like, it helps you grow. Going out, meeting new people, it helps you grow. Now, some people may only want to meet 3 people. They may be more introverted. That's what it is, but everyone's different. Just going out and growing, and, hey, I'm going to try this because why not? It helps me grow. It makes me happy. Why not? And that's really the whole point of everything, is to be happy. This is what makes me happy. This is what I want to do. And at some point, it's going to come to an end playing. So what can I do? Coaching, more socially, or doing this or that, where I can still get that happiness and joy and help others. I think helping others is huge too, and growing the game and growing people. When your time is done, helping someone else grow and maximize, and then when their time's done, and that's just the whole state of
pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's really a lot of it.
Wow, a lot of philosophy, very inspirational.
Thank you.
Our first podcast, we were just kind of trying to check this out, but this is like great philosophy that you gave us. This has to go out.
Yeah.
I love a lot of the things you said. I love the way you talked about the fine balance between having a healthy obsession and not being consumed. I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. I love the neutrality, Mushin kind of connection there. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
What you said about being okay with failing and growing, and when to try new things and when not to try new things, trusting your technique, and applying all the things that you've learned both socially and in your life. This has been a great, you've really encapsulated.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You're so well spoken too.
Thank you.
What a great guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you must have had good high school teachers.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, our listeners, if you don't know, Frank is a high school teacher, and he actually had Alec as a student in high school. So, so they know each other well.
He was a great kid to teach. Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Alec, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. As we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the powerful connections we've explored between the art of Jiu-Jitsu and your career. In your workplace and in Jiu-Jitsu, you learn to adapt and navigate challenges. So remember that persistence and the courage to embrace the lessons that you learn are the keys to your growth both on the mat and in your career.